You feed your cat quality food. You take them to the vet. You play with them. You provide toys, perches, scratching posts. You're doing everything right. But something is still missing. Your cat seems less vibrant than they could be. Less engaged. Less alive. And here's what's haunting: you can't figure out what it is. Most cat owners are missing the same fundamental thing. The one need that's so basic, so obvious, that it's invisible. It's not in the fancy products. It's not in the diet. It's not in the toys or the furniture or the vet care. It's something that costs nothing. Something that takes just minutes daily. Something that 90% of indoor cat owners completely overlook because we've normalized its absence. Today at CreatureCode, we're revealing the one thing indoor cats need that's systematically missing from most homes. And here's what's going to surprise you. Once you understand what it is, you'll realize your cat has been trying to tell you this entire time. The final piece of this puzzle? It's not actually one thing. It's the absence of something. And when you finally provide it, your cat's entire existence transforms. Let's decode it. Your cat is alone. Not just when you leave for work, but for significant portions of their day, they exist without meaningful human interaction. You think cats are independent. They don't need constant attention. That's true. But there's a massive difference between independence and isolation. An independent cat can be fine alone. But they still need regular, predictable interaction with their human. Not constant interaction, but intentional interaction. And most indoor cats aren't getting it. A 2021 study in applied animal behavior science found that indoor cats spent an average of 6 to 8 hours daily without meaningful human interaction. And owners who worked outside the home? That number climbed to 10 to 12 hours. But here's the critical part: the lack wasn't the problem. The unpredictability was. Cats whose owners worked consistent schedules, who had predictable interaction times, showed significantly better behavioral and psychological markers than cats whose owners had irregular schedules. The mechanism: your cat's nervous system needs predictability. Knowing when you'll be home. Knowing when attention is coming. Knowing the rhythm of the day. Without it, they live in a state of low-level uncertainty. Not acute stress, but chronic mild anxiety from not knowing what comes next. But here's where it gets more specific. Because the interaction itself matters less than what you're doing during that interaction. You're in the room with your cat. You're both present. But are you actually with them? Most owners are on their phones, working, or doing other tasks while their cat is nearby. The cat is technically getting presence, but not actual attention. This is the distinction that changes everything. A 2019 study in Current Biology found that cats showed significantly different neurochemical responses to being in the same room as their owner while the owner was distracted being in the same room with direct, intentional attention from their owner. The difference was measurable in cortisol levels, oxytocin production, and behavioral engagement. When your cat has your intentional attention, eye contact, direct interaction, presence without distraction, their nervous system registers safety at a different level. A cat can be in the same space as you and still feel somewhat alone if you're not actually present with them. The reality? Most cats are experiencing a form of isolation that looks like presence. Your cat is in the house, but they're not getting the actual human connection they need. Here's the tricky part: real attention isn't passive. It's not sitting near your cat while you scroll. It's not having them in the room while you work. Real attention is direct eye contact, verbal engagement, talking to your cat, physical touch, petting, gentle handling, play or interactive engagement, undivided focus. A 2020 study in PLOS I found that cats showed measurably higher oxytocin, bonding hormone, levels when receiving active, focused attention from their owners compared to passive cohabitation. But here's what most owners are doing: they're providing presence without presence. Your cat needs 10 to 15 minutes daily of actual intentional interaction. Not multitasking. Not distracted. Just you and your cat, engaged together. Most cats aren't getting that. When cats don't get regular, predictable, intentional human interaction, something shifts neurologically. They don't get sick. They don't develop acute behavioral problems, usually. But their psychological state subtly declines. Signs include Reduced engagement with environment, decreased playfulness, changes in affection-seeking behavior. They give up asking, lower activity levels, subtle signs of depression. A 2021 study in animal welfare found that indoor cats without regular intentional human interaction showed behavioral markers consistent with mild depression by age 3 to 5. Not severe depression. Not clinical illness. But measurable decline in engagement, curiosity, and behavioral diversity. The heartbreaking part? Owners often interpret this as their cat being chill or laid back. But it might actually be learned helplessness. Your cat has learned that asking for attention doesn't work, so they stopped asking. Here's why 90% of owners miss this. Cats don't vocalize their needs like dogs. A dog will follow you around demanding attention. A cat will eventually stop asking and just exist. We've normalized isolation. Indoor cats are alone for 8 to 12 hours daily. We think that's just how it is. Presence looks like connection. You're in the same house, so you assume your cat is fine. We're distracted. Even when we're home, we're on our phones, working, doing other things. Our cat is in the room, but we're not actually there. Cats don't complain loudly. Unlike dogs who become anxious and destructive, cats become quiet and withdrawn when their needs aren't met. This is why 90% of owners miss it. The problem is invisible because it manifests as absence, not presence. Here's what happens in your cat's brain when they're getting regular, intentional human interaction. Oxytocin increases the bonding hormone. Your cat feels safe and connected. Cortisol decreases, stress hormone regulation improves. Dopamine surges from play, from engagement, from positive interaction. Serotonin stabilizes, mood regulation improves. A cat receiving regular intentional interaction is experiencing a neurochemical state that supports psychological health, behavioral engagement, and emotional stability. A cat without it is neurochemically operating in a state of mild deprivation. Not acute crisis, but chronic insufficiency. The consequence? Over years, this difference accumulates. It affects lifespan. It affects quality of life. It affects how vibrant and engaged your cat is. If this is making you reconsider how much actual attention your cat is getting, hit subscribe right now. Because at CreatureCode, we're not just telling you what cats need, we're showing you the neuroscience of why they need it. And understanding the mechanism changes everything. Here's what research shows actually makes a difference. 15 minutes daily of intentional, undistracted interaction with your cat. Not 15 minutes of playing. Not 15 minutes of being in the same room. 15 minutes where you put your phone away, you focus entirely on your cat, you engage through play, conversation, petting, eye contact, you're present without agenda. A 2020 study in applied animal behavior science found that cats receiving 15+ minutes daily of intentional owner interaction showed 34% higher behavioral engagement levels, measurably lower stress markers, better sleep quality, more consistent affection-seeking behavior, higher overall quality of life markers. The breakdown: 5 minutes of interactive play, 5 minutes of petting/touch, 5 minutes of just being present, talking to your cat, making eye contact, not all at once. Can be broken into smaller sessions throughout the day. Here's the thing, your cat has been communicating this need. The way they follow you around. The way they meow when you're home. The way they seek physical contact. The way they position themselves near you. These aren't random behaviors. These are requests for the one thing they need most, intentional human connection. But we've interpreted these behaviors as neediness. As clinginess. As something to manage rather than something to honor. Your cat isn't being needy. Your cat is being honest about their psychological needs. Here's what happens when you start providing this. Within 1 week, you'll notice your cat seems more engaged. More present. More vibrant. Within 2 weeks, their play behavior will intensify. Their affection will deepen. They'll seek you out differently, not just for food, but for connection. Within a month, you'll see measurable behavioral changes. More curiosity. More activity. More joy. It's not magic. It's neurobiology. You're finally meeting a fundamental psychological need that's been unmet. Here's what I need you to understand about your indoor cat's life. You think you're doing everything right because you're providing food, shelter, medical care, toys, and environment. But you're missing the one thing that makes all of that matter: your intentional presence. Your cat doesn't need luxury. Your cat needs you. Not as a background presence, but as an active, intentional, focused part of their daily life. 15 minutes. That's all it takes. 15 minutes of undistracted, intentional interaction daily, and your cat's entire psychological state shifts. Most owners aren't doing this. Most cats are living with a fundamental need unmet, the need to matter to their human, to feel chosen, to experience genuine connection. And the crazy part? You're not even sacrificing much. You're putting your phone away for 15 minutes. You're being present with a creature who loves you and depends on you. So tonight, commit to it. Tomorrow morning, or whenever you have 15 minutes, put your phone away. Focus entirely on your cat. Play with them. Talk to them. Make eye contact. Be with them. Watch what happens. Your cat has been waiting for you to finally understand this need. The need you've been missing. The need that's been making them less vibrant, less engaged, less alive than they could be. Drop a comment committing to 15 minutes of intentional daily interaction. The one change you're going to make for your cat. And subscribe to CreatureCode, because your cat's psychological needs are as real as their physical ones. And we're here to make sure you're meeting both.